You're now in Breaths and Somatic Holds. I'm going to show you some of my favorite techniques that I've picked up over the last 20 years in the healing arts and exactly where to implement them into your practice to keep you in that window of tolerance so we can learn to regulate ourselves and learn to be more tolerant of stress in our lives. This is going to help reprogram the nervous system. So let's get started with some of the best breaths. I want to point out that if you're feeling in your tap like you're tapping and you're moving through this thought progression that has you feeling like you're shutting down and you're starting to dissociate and get tired and kind of tuning out, you're going to use some breaths that are going to keep you a little bit more alert. So I'll show you some of those now. One breath is called the breath of fire, and this is where you're going to snap the diaphragm and the stomach inward. And it's a sharp exhale through the nose. You can choose to do this with your hands over your stomach when you're starting to learn how to do this. So you can snap that stomach inward. It is a really strong motion that's going to affect your digestion. So try to do this on an emptier stomach. And when you get really tuned in with that movement, then you can start to do hand mudras that are going to help you, like the lotus over the heart or over the head, or you can just take your hands and connect your pointer finger to your thumb like this. You can also bring your hands above your head with your thumbs up. This is the lung meridian, so it's really nice to stick that lung meridian straight up in the air. If you're pregnant, you want to avoid doing this one, and it is really good to do to just get yourself back online. I can tell that I'm already talking a little bit faster. I'm feeling really fired up. It's really nice to just recommit to the process. That's breath of fire. Now that we're on the abdomen and we're talking about breathing, I'm going to show you another breath that you can do to get yourself recommitted to your process and recommitted to being centered and in this present moment. It is belly breathing. Sometimes we breathe with our chest, and we're really designed with our diaphragm, which is actually shaped like this. We're really designed to pull that diaphragm down, and which when you take a nice deep inhale, you're pulling the diaphragm down, which is going to push your belly out, and that's how you want to take your breaths. So I want you to just practice that right now, holding your heart and holding your abdomen. You can even practice belly out, chest up, chest down, belly in. Belly out, chest up, chest down, belly in. We really want the belly to be the first and last thing, as our diaphragm is going to be guiding our breath here. Starting with a deep inhale. This belly breathing is really nice for firing up the digestion, for getting you centered and grounded in your body. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to get grounded in this one body that we have. It's so protective. In EFT, we talk about releasing protective mechanisms like anger or jealousy or resentment that aren't working for us anymore. And what we're going to do is we're going to adopt new protective mechanisms that work for us, that are healthy and feel good. And one of those things is residing in your body, occupying the space within your body. So when you do deep breathing and when you touch your chest and you touch your stomach, you're getting super centered in this body and you're taking up all this space, and that alone is protective. So as we're releasing all of these protective mechanisms that don't feel good, just remember that you can presence yourself in a 10-minute meditation every day. You can do breath work and some more of these techniques I'm going to show you that help us get inside of our bodies and that makes us more present and safer. So the next breath I'm going to teach you is Ujjayi breath. It is the oceanic breath that's in the back of the throat, and this one's really good for purifying. It's really good for cleansing out impurities, toxins, negative energy, and you can do it with belly breathing. And it sounds like this. If you've never done Ujjayi breath, you constrict the back of the throat so it actually constricts the air a little bit coming in and out, and it feels like you're fogging up a mirror. So instead of just, it's more like, but you do it with your mouth closed. And if you feel yourself coming down with something, a cold or a flu, you can try doing this. If you feel yourself with anger and extra heat, you can try that Ujjayi breath in the back of the throat. So you can practice it with the belly breathing, with that Ujjayi breath, and see how that feels. You can do it for a few minutes. You can do it for 10 minutes. It's really powerful. I'm going to pair the Ujjayi breath with something called pranayama breath. It's alternate nostril breathing. This is another way to get really centered in your body. It helps with the endocrine system and the emotions. And when I want to point out something, that when you're doing these maneuvers, you're going to feel interrupted. Your day is going to be interrupted because you're going throughout your day trying to look good, trying to be right, trying to be justified, trying to keep everything all in alignment, and we're very much in our heads. So when we get into our bodies, we're interrupting that thought, and it can feel very invasive and very confronting. And we're going to look a little silly doing it as well. So that's also going to be something that's going to just stop you dead in your tracks. But we want that. We want to, if you're not feeling at peace and you feel like something's wrong here in life, if you switch it up with different physical manipulations and different breath work, then it's going to give you something different than what you've had. It's going to give you a different result, a more peaceful result. So this is how you do alternate nostril breathing, pranayama. We're going to end up touching our third eye with our middle finger, and we're going to use the thumb and the pinky to close one and then the other nostril. Again, this is bilateral stimulation, and it helps balance the right and left brain, which we've already talked so much about, but you're just going to experience the very physical manifestation and the physical benefits of this now. So I'm going to show you how to do it first, and then I'll direct you on how to do it on your own. You're going to inhale on the left, exhale on the right. Inhale on the right, exhale on the left. And it looks like this. Inhale on the left, exhale on the right. Inhale on the right, exhale on the left. Let's pair the Ujjayi breath. Now let's pair the pranayama, Ujjayi, and belly breathing. Already just by doing that, I feel like going and just laying down and just being with myself. So that is a really nice breath to practice in a meditation every morning. So if you don't have a meditation practice, you can maybe do a few of the session progression phrases, and then maybe you can do a nice hold to just comfort yourself, balance your nervous system, and then maybe you can do some breath work. So I just wanted to point out to you that that could be a little bit of your practice, and we're going to go over how to design your own tapping practice and your inner peace rituals in Module 5. So, we've already talked about alternate nostril breathing, ujjayi, belly breathing, and the breath of fire. Next, I'm going to show you a few of my favorite somatic holds that are going to affect your mind in a positive way. This is what you will find people do naturally when they're in shock or very distressed. And somatic psychotherapists and therapists all over the world are doing these on their clients every day as a high-end therapy, and you can do it on your own. And it's the basis of somatic psychotherapy and sensory motor psychotherapy, which is a very leading edge PTSD and trauma technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take the palms of our hands, and I want to point out that with those last few breaths that you did, if you're feeling stressed out, do them nice and slow. And if you feel like you're coming offline, try that breath of fire and speed it up. So these holds that we're about to do are really good for when you're feeling hyper aroused and stressed out above the window of tolerance. The first one I'm going to show you is going to be a nice somatic hold where you hook the right arm across your heart over the left shoulder, and you just hook on with your hand and just relax. Take that left arm, wrap it around your stomach, and just sink into the juiciest, most loving hug. You don't have to think about anything here. The cool thing about breathing and somatic holds is that all you have to do is show up and physically go through the motions, and it's going to affect you positively. So already I just want to drop in. It feels very safe. It feels like I have a container. It feels like I'm honoring myself. I feel seen. This is really good for heartbreak and upset. It's also really good for congratulating yourself after doing lots of personal development and going through a tapping session. So I tend to do this with my clients and myself after we've already tapped. We've moved through so many spaces when we're tapping. It's so mental. It's just really nice to just get into the body. I like to do a little twist because it feels like you're just hugging someone that you know really well, and you guys are in the same rhythm together, and it definitely affects the endocrine system, and it calms the mind quite a bit. I could stay here for a long time. So go ahead and try to practice this one whenever you feel like you need a hug. And also just practice it when you're upset and you're just like, get away from me, and you just don't want to hug. Try to implement that and see what happens. I'm going to show you now a hold that's going to be on the sides of the head. Something that happens in tapping, like we already talked about, is that we're starting to identify what society thinks of us and where we learned different things about money and relationships and all this input that we have in our ears, especially if you've ever undergone, unfortunately, some kind of verbal, mental, emotional abuse. You're going to be hearing it through your ears. So what we do is we take the palm and we place it right over the ear, and we just kind of start to cap ourselves off here. We're just really going to just contain our own mind. We're going to release all the things that people have said that are not serving us, all the different beliefs and simulacra and that is affecting our belief systems. This is really nice if you have sort of sensitivity to loud noises. It's really nice if your mind is racing. Try it. Try holding the sides of your head. This hold can be really effective after a long day. It can be really effective to bring your thoughts together and to slow a mind that's racing. I think we all know that if you're in a particular mood, the thoughts are going to follow and the beliefs are going to follow, and it can be really damaging. So if you're feeling like you're starting to think negative thoughts, you can really hold your head like this, and it helps a lot. I also like to hold the front of my head and the back of my head, and it has the same type of response where it just calms a busy mind. Give it a try. I can also feel my facial muscles relaxing, and there's muscle memory there. So when you're stressed out, your muscle memory is going to put your face into a certain position. But when you calm your face down, it actually has a bottom-up technique where when you calm the facial muscles, it affects the mind, and it has muscle memory, and it brings you back to these proprioceptor cells, which have two-way communication. And it's going to say, oh, I'm calm now, and I can calm my mind because my face is calm. So I'm really excited to teach you guys some more reflexology techniques, some face massage techniques, and one of those things I'll teach you right now, which is cupping the hands over the eyes. This has a similar effect as what I was just talking about. So you're going to take the palm of the hand and the bone around the eye, and you're going to just kind of give the eyeball some space. You're not going to be pressing on the eyeball, but you're going to be holding your face. This is so wonderful for going inward. It's so wonderful for like just wanting, it's like hanging a do not disturb sign on the door. It just allows you to get quiet, peaceful. This is great if you work long hours, if you're looking at a screen for long periods of time. And it's also a really nice way to calm down the emotional windows of our soul, our eyes, and it calms them down, and then it sends a signal to the brain that you're safe, that it's time to go inward, that it's time to stay calm, it's time to rejuvenate and relax. You can try that before bed, and it's really calming, and you can also do it in your meditation practice. I wanted to point out here that there's also some hand mudras that you can do, and one of the hand mudras that you can do to bring the thoughts together into a concise stream of language. So before a call, while you're doing your intake for one of your sessions, you can take your hands and clasp all the fingers except leave the pointer fingers up, and then cross the thumbs. This particular hand mudra helps you, if you can imagine, bring the thoughts down, and then output a very put together sentence. So it's like you're trying to gather your thoughts, you're streaming your thoughts down, and then you're going to be outputting them to the world. So this is wonderful if you have to deliver a communication to someone before an important, crucial conversation, before you write an email. You can do this hand mudra, and it helps you get your story straight. Oftentimes in PTSD and trauma, we find that there's no beginning, middle, or end of a story when you're in trauma and you're in stress. It's all sort of jumbled up. So one of the coolest things we do in EFT is we really get like a beginning, middle, and an end. And I really like this hand mudra because it helps you get your story straight. It helps you find a place and time for all of the things you're experiencing. It's really sort of feels like collective. It feels like it's helping me get back online. It's helping me collect my thoughts. Super nice to do when you're feeling a little bit hypo-aroused, where you're a little bit like dissociated and a little bit tired. Okay, so one of the things that we do in EFT is we let out these really big loud sighs. You guys are going to experience this in our 90-minute sessions together, and I wanted to point out now why we do that and what it looks like, and it's part of emoting. You just learned all about emote like a pro, right? So we're talking about physical gesturing that just like helps you just get it off of you. You know, posturing with the face and posturing with the body, and sound that's going to help you release emotion. So I'm going to incentivize you one last time here of why you'd want to do that. Imagine being sad, and you want to avoid feeling sad for like 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years. You're just trying to not feel that sadness. What if you went ahead and just let yourself just release that sadness? It's so awkward, and it just looks so almost like embarrassing, but we're not doing it out there. We're doing it in this contained space. Process that sadness physically. Process it in your face and process it through your voice. It's an awkward 5-10 seconds of emoting powerfully and releasing it. It's so much better to experience that confronting emoting for 5 seconds than it is to hold onto it for weeks and months and years. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. So one thing that we do is we go, hearing our vocal cords rumble in our throat is really powerful. The breath and constricting the breath a little bit as it goes out, kind of like Ujjayi breath, it helps activate the polyvagal nerve, and it's going to help us calm our nervous system down. It also sends a message to the brain that we're hearing our own voice. It's very calming. Like you can hear in my voice, it's like satisfying, it's a release, it's peaceful. But imagine if you're angry when you're tapping and you're in a session and it's time to take a big deep breath. Been there, done that. So you're like, done that. Process that feeling. There's no more holding on to it. There's no more hiding from it. You don't have to keep doing it forever. It's like it moves through you. How our body was designed. So those big, loud, deep sighs and exhales are really powerful, and you'll be practicing those with me in our group taps. Looking forward, so forward to spending that time with you guys. The next thing that I want to mention is some all over body movement that you can do that helps you get in your body and helps you get totally present and free flowing. And one of the concepts is, the body keeps the score. The issues are in the tissues. If you have trauma and you've already processed it in your mind and you've tried to emote it and process it as best as you can, it can be living in your body, okay? So we don't want our past self, our cells to be the past. We don't want to show up here as a part of our past. We want to show up here as fully present, current, cleansed moment. So we want to show up totally in our present self. We don't want to show up as our past. So we want to just be able to release all of that negative energy, all of the negative emotions, all of those proprioceptor cells and the muscle memory and all of the trauma that we've stored in our bodies because it has nowhere to go. So we'll be doing things in our body like shaking, for example. So you can I'm bending one knee and then the other knee and doing it kind of fast. And when you do both, it's like this jostling motion. I Google searched body shaking recently, and it was all these people standing on these machines that shake your body. It's like we are an engine. We have the ability to shake. If you go to Bali and you go find ecstatic dance, you'll find groups of people on the dance floor that stand and shake for an hour straight because there's healers out there that have these sessions where they stand there and they shake for an hour. You just completely shake your body. Shaking your hands, which holds so much energy. Go right, left, and just completely shake. I could do this for a very long time. I've spent lots of time in Bali shaking. And I've spent lots of time on dance floors, just moving my body. So again, the key is not to walk around in life like some ecstatic dancing hippie out in the world. That's not the goal and the end goal. But if you are asked to do that and you are invited to do that, could you do that? The idea is that we walk around with our strengths. Imagine me holding a big shield, and it's my strength. And someone asks me to put it down, and I can't put it down. It becomes a weakness. So being composed out in the world is a strength, but can you put that down? So just, if you're invited to shake your body, are you able to? So just kind of try to shake your body if you want, shaking the hips quite a bit. Of course, I just did a chakra balancing workshop. I think that if any one of you wanted to do one-on-one sessions with me, we could be working on all these different levels together. It's definitely something I enjoy doing, but we do in certain chakras, it's really effective to do hip circles. It's really good for releasing sexual contempt and opening up creativity. And these hip circles are really powerful for activating the different chakras. Doing twists, really powerful for activating the solar chakra. Doing posturing that opens the heart is really amazing for the heart chakra. Singing and making sound activates and balances the throat chakra, and there's so much more. So we move the body. We move the body however we feel. When you do feel some kind of blockage, you can make a sound that feels like it's going to tone that out. You can just shake it even more and see how the body wants to move. And you can even take your hands and you can start to sort of cleanse that out. And you pull this negative energy out with your hands as you visualize pulling out blockages from your body and picture it going into an indigo flame. And so I know that might have been a lot of information. This is a little bit advanced. So if doing a hip circle feels like, whoa, is anyone watching me do this? This is really risky, totally normal. This is a really good place to start. If it feels really silly to shake, then start there. Hip circles and shaking the body. That's going to get you awake, online, present, in your body. You are going to start owning this body. You are going to start staking your claim in this body, taking up space. No one can shake your legs and shake your booty and shake your hips for you. You've got to do it yourself. So just getting really good about doing that is going to help you get embodied. And I want to point out that if you do want to start to release negative energy, you can do toning, and you can also start to visualize and manually start cleansing energetically this energy. And this visualization is more on the lines of like Reiki and energy work, and you have the ability to do that. And when you can master all of your energy bodies and your physical body and your emotional body, then you can start to sort of play within those realms. That can be a really cool way to embody, is just by getting your physical body nice and cleansed, getting your emotional body right, getting your energetic body right, and start to weave in and out of these different bodies. That's going to help you know yourself better, know your boundaries better. It's going to be not only a way for you to approach life with these new this new energy, but it's also a diagnostic tool. When something's coming kind of at you, you can say, ooh, I feel that here. Hey, I can feel my throat chakra closing. You can absolutely get to a place in your body where you are that in tune. Sweet. So far we've talked a little bit about hand mudras, shaking, and one of the things that I wanted to mention to you guys is a wonderful technique in the realm of Qigong that I learned that in massage school that helps us tune our 10, we actually have more than 10 meridians, but we have them on our hands, and it's a really good way to adjust them and to get yourself having them open. So you really want your meridians and the energy channels to be open and flowing. So all we're trying to do is remove the blockages, remove the mental blockages, the emotional blockages, the belief blockages, the chakric blockages, the physical muscular blockages, and the chi. Okay, so this is how you do it. You bend your knees, tuck your pelvis under, and you're going to be on your feet nice and flat. You're going to lift your hands up and then down. And when you lift your hands up, you inhale and go on your toes. And then you exhale, flat foot. It's a really wonderful way to focus on the back body. And then the soft, open yin body. So big, deep breath in up on your toes. Exhale onto your heels. You can really start, I can already feel the energy in my hands starting to open up and activate. So another nice ritual that you can do when we get into module 5 and you're starting to design your morning practice, you can do this Qigong meridian opening, and after it's activated, you can cover your eyes, or you can touch a piece of your body that you want to be healed. And you can do breath work. Okay, so really nice way to heal physical ailments and manifestations of blockages. I am hoping that you guys really got something out of this. We have many, many more ways that we can do bottom-up techniques, like there's things like laughter therapy and laughter yoga, where you just induce laughter in your body and it's going to help your mind. And these types of things could go on and on and on. And one thing I'd like to mention is, breath work. There are breath work practitioners in your area that would probably love to work with you, and you can go down that rabbit hole, and it's really powerful. Also, there's yoga practitioners and yoga teachers that can help you do postures that are going to open the heart, for example. That's going to help you love more unconditionally. It's going to help you be in right relation with others and yourself. So any kind of posture where the hands are open and back, any kind of motion where you're lifting and twisting open, these are all heart-opening postures. Of course, any back bends, massively heart-opening, okay? And so that's a bottom-up technique that we're talking about here. Postures that open your heart are going to make you more open-hearted in life. If you are a survivor of sexual trauma, you can work on hip opening with your yoga teacher. I hope that you find someone that you trust and you can ask them what hip opening methods that you can do to help you start to walk more safely on this earth and start to release some of that trauma in that area of your body. Similarly, if you have neck issues, throat issues, you can do lots of twisting and opening of the throat chakra, and it helps you speak your mind. It helps you listen more clearly, take feedback. There's a whole variety of ways that physical manipulation in our bodies can affect our beliefs, our mind, and our thoughts. So working with yoga is really powerful. Personally, I like to twist my body. It helps me feel like I'm cleansing. So just, my hips are totally straight here, and I'm twisting my body right in the abdomen. Twist, twist, twist. And when you flex and use that part of your body, what it's going to do is it's going to bring you into a cleansed and purified state. I just love these body manipulations, and I can't wait to show you some deep foot reflexology in the bonus course after your course is all done. We're also going to use some aromatherapy, which is a wonderful way to totally bypass the amygdala and affect the brain and the nervous system and the stress levels in the body just by inhaling different plant medicines. We also have some more things in store for you, so stay tuned and keep up the good work. Thank you for joining this particular method of best breaths and somatic holds. I cannot wait to see you all in the next module. Bye for now.